A lot has happened while I have been away from YouTube, not streaming, trying to recover from my COVID. And one of those things has been pretty much the entire online left, not the entire online left, but a significant amount of the online left just turning against Keffals and deciding to wage an online war against her and try to deplatform her, sending harassment, death threats, spreading lies and misinformation, slander, all of the usual stuff, right? Now, I've talked about cancellations like this a lot. I've talked about a lot of creators in the space who I'm friends with who've gotten canceled over dumb bullshit like this, but Keffals' community is very large and does consist of a lot of people who are left-wing that I don't think are very aware of some of the more toxic, negative tendencies of the left, because so much of Keffals' content and community prior was focused on nothing but dunking on the right. And so now there's this sort of, like, misunderstanding, I think, between Keffals and her audience, mostly from her audience, as to why Keffals would be so upset about what's happening right now. And I've seen a lot of Keffals fans who seem to believe that Keffals is going too far or overreacting to some of the stuff that's happening, but I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a, I guess, an insight from my perspective of what I've seen from the outside looking in, a little bit of personal experience I've had, and then a little bit of my own, like, objective analysis of this tendency, okay? So let's start. When I began doing this whole, like, left-tube streaming, doing left-wing political content thing, I thought that the community that was BreadTube, because that's what it was being called at that time, like, that was the, oh, BreadTube is rising, BreadTube's blowing up, right? I genuinely thought, my young, naive, 19-year-old self legitimately thought BreadTube was essentially going to be the based, non-cringe, horrible, non-like bigoted, like left-wing alternative to like the anti-SJW cringe Gamergate community, right? You see, if you look back at like the anti-SJW community, and you even look at it now, right? Because we're in pretty much like tier 2 of that, all these right-wing pundits and figures are all friends. They're all talking about the same shit, spreading the same lies, spreading the same like propaganda and bullshit. They're this really tight-knit, hardcore, very, they're like bricks, like building up into a wall. They're a very solid movement of propaganda that's being pushed through the internet, right? Like a nice bricked up, hard, compacted shit, right? The left is more like diarrhea. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. The right is like a constipated shit, and the left is like diarrhea. You see, the left, well, it isn't exactly like a polar opposite, but you know, just as like tight-knit and on top of things as the anti-SJW community. Everyone here in the BreadTube sphere hates each other. In fact, most figures in the BreadTube sphere, I honestly don't even think are good people, just based on the stuff that I've seen from them. So not only is it like, we don't get along, but also there's a shit ton of genuinely bad people in this space who use their progressive politics to mask out how bad of a person they are to their audience, and people expect you to respect them. They expect you to respect them for their politics and what they say, despite them being a horrible person, fundamentally, especially to you. This has happened to me many times. So, the online left, unfortunately, as it stands now, has no chance of becoming like a left-wing version of the massive social push that the right had with their propaganda online. This will be known as Xander Hall shit theory. True. Like, the left has not been able to emulate this and, like, turn it into something positive, to fight fire with fire. And the reason for this is that there has been a very predictable, constantly proving itself to be correct pattern that occurs whenever a popular lefty figure blows up, okay? Now, there are 3 ways that this goes, all right? So let's say you are a lefty. Wow, okay. You are a lefty figure. All right? This is you. Actually, we'll say this is Keffals, okay? I'm not good at drawing stick figures, so here we go. Here's hair, and here's Here's Keffels, just like, oh, I'm gonna start streaming. I'm gonna start doing left-wing political content, okay? That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna have fun doing it. I'm gonna be dunking on right-wingers. Hold on, let's animate it. I'm gonna make left-wing political content, and I'm gonna be dunking on right-wingers, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be having all sorts of fun. We're gonna call conservatives the R slur, and everyone's gonna laugh at them, and we're gonna be able to turn fire against fire, and it's gonna be awesome. You know, maybe not everybody will agree with it, not everybody will like it, but you know, people are smart, people are mature, they can recognize that not everything is for them, and you know, they can just, you know, they just don't have to watch the content if it's not for them, right? You know, yeah, right. Okay, so that's basically the mindset of your average lefty figure starting out, right? And usually they'll get a lot of positive affirmation, you know, a lot of positive affirmation from dunking on the right. Let's draw that little. Holy shit, that came out looking surprisingly good. I've never drawn an elephant before. That came out looking really good. Like, okay, yeah, okay, like throwing. You know, you get a lot of positive response throwing rocks at the right when you start making your content, right? But eventually, something is going to happen. What if you say, for example, throw a rock at that elephant that's shaped like an R? What if the rock was just a chiseled out R, and you just tossed it at the conservatives, right? Well, now, a few people who were once giving you positive affirmation for your dunking on the right and your advocacy for these good political positions, suddenly they're mad. They are not happy with you. They may have any range of responses, okay? This could range from, I'm disappointed, I wish you'd do better, I'm so disappointed in you, oh, I just want you to do better, to, I can't believe you do this, I regret giving you money ever, I can't believe I ever supported you. Like, it can be anywhere inside of that, like, spectrum of, like, people getting mad at you, but the core of what happens here, at least from the perspective of a political content creator, is that you realize, oh no, the left is not a space that is okay with just looking past content that they don't like. You make the realization that even if you have quite a few people in your fan base and just generally in the space behind you that support you, you now have a whole lot of angry people that were once fans of you, many of them which have a strong parasocial relationship with you and thus have a strong sense of entitlement that you should behave a certain way they like. I love that you're fucking talking about these people like their children. Keep doing it. It's really good. I like how we're doing this, like, animation type thing that I'm doing live on stream. I'm enjoying it. But you'll start to realize, oh shit, my community is fracturing. I've built my platform dunking on the right because that's what I'm concerned about, and made one small mistake that people in my audience disagree with, and now I'm being asked to either change what I like, the content I make and what I want to do, or keep doing what I want to do and continue to get hate. And so you have two options. You can acquiesce to the hate mob, okay? If you acquiesce to the hate mob, this is who you become. This is my best thought slime I can draw, okay? You become thought slime. You start apologizing. Sorry for saying nanners. You become thought slime. You cater to this audience, the people who want to basically determine what is and is not allowed to be a person or an advocate for the left. You acquiesce to them, and you start basically bending and apologizing for every single perceived misdeed that you do, and it turns you into a quivering little simp. Which really is, like, I cannot imagine how miserable Thought Slime must be with, like, the lack of creative freedom he has after, like, the amount of, like, they've literally just completely sanitized any level of, like, character from their content, I feel like. I watched their DMT video and their Minecraft video, and I honestly think those videos were too edgy for them to have made today. Anyway, the other option is the Lindsay Ellis option, okay? The Lindsay Ellis option is basically where, well, you realize that you're never going to please the people on the left who are attacking you, and you just quit. You just straight up quit. That's what Lindsay Ellis did. She was canceled for saying that that one Disney movie or whatever was a lot like Avatar, and was called racist for it, harassed and canceled so much that she was bullied off of the internet, had actual physical health problems. Like, I think she said she was shitting blood from the stress. She was having stomach ulcers, which are really bad, and it was causing Lindsay Ellis severe mental stress, and she quit YouTube, which, of course, the people celebrated. The people who canceled her celebrated that she quit YouTube. They still talk about how much of a win it was to get her to quit YouTube to this day. They consider losing an advocate for left-wing politics to be a good thing if they don't like that person. This isn't about politics to them. It's about people they personally hate and want to utilize politics to try and justify their hatred of. And the final option is the way that Keffals is going in this scenario, the way that I went, and the way that Vosh went. It's where you just say, who the fuck cares? There's absolutely nothing you can do to stop these people from getting mad at you, okay? Even if you do apologize, even if you do try to be better, there will always be some percentage of these people who continue on believing that you are some horrible person. They will go on Twitter and they will get multi-thousand like posts spreading those lies about you, and it will cause you demonstrable and very clear harm to your online presence. There is nothing to be gained from acquiescing to these people. They don't hate you because of your politics. They don't disagree with you politically. They hate you as a person. They hate you because of your success. They hate you because of your face. They hate you because of your giant cock. And they're trying to use politics as a justification to hate you, right? And I think that's what's basically happening in most cases here. So, the best thing you can do is honestly just say, fuck it. You say you drink a big dose of fuck it all, and you say retard on stream, and you don't care if these people are going to get upset at you. However, I would like to add an extra caveat. For those of you guys who aren't aware, the drama that's happened most recently was Keffals using the R slur. Now, let me give you guys my take on the R slur, okay? I think it's generally bad, okay? Like the South Park guy. But not always. That's my take. You see, when I use a word, there are two different, like, when it comes to slurs in particular, there are like two different, like, tiers or reasons for why you may not use a slur, right? On one level, it can be personal pride. Maybe you genuinely just don't like a slur because it doesn't make you feel it makes you feel a certain way. That's not good, right? Like anybody here, like, you don't even need to be part of that group, but you just hear a certain slur and you're just like, I don't like that one. I don't like hearing that one. I don't like saying that one. I don't even want to say it. Like, there's certain slurs for me that are like that. I don't think the R slur is one of them. It's not one of those slurs that I genuinely feel gross or like I'm a bad person when I say it. It doesn't feel wrong to say. However, there is another position, and this is the one that I think matters more, and that's consequentialism. All right? What matters a lot is the consequences of what you say and what you do. If I'm on stream and I just make a joke where the butt of the joke is, we're like, I'm just making a joke, and in the joke is that I say the R slur. That's the joke. That's why it's supposed to be funny. Then really the only thing that's accomplishing is potentially upsetting and offending people in chat who are neurodivergent who have been called that before because they're neurodivergent. all I'm achieving there, most likely, is hurting the feelings of some good people in my audience. I don't think that's arguable. However, I think that there's a point where you can do a fairly reasonable cost-benefit analysis in your head in like 2 seconds as to whether or not it's really that big a deal. Just say dumbass. It's not hard. It's not ticking hard. Stop using excuses. Oh my god. Somebody in chat just told me to say dumbass instead of the R slur and said ticking instead of fucking. Okay, you understand what I mean now, right, guys? That the people who will get mad about this type of thing to that level are the same type of people who, like, don't say swear words. Who say frickin' instead of fuck. Okay, listen. I understand, alright? What I care about is the actual outcomes of what I say and do. If good people who are innocent and are being and have been targeted for their being neurodivergent and have had that insult used against them are like, if they are more hurt than any conceivable good could be done by me saying it, then typically I don't say it. That's my thought process behind it, right? Like, if I had the opportunity to call Ben Shapiro the R slur in front of a massive crowd, I would do it in a heartbeat. And I would not apologize, and I'd do it again. Because there's no universe in which the amount of harm caused by me saying it to Ben Shapiro in front of a massive audience outweighs the amount of good that is caused by there now being a clip of a lefty calling Ben Shapiro a retard in front of a giant audience. There's also the use of it referentially, which I think is like... I don't think that using the word to refer to the word is as bad, but yeah. And then, of course, there's the other like argument that I see people use where it's like, what are the words we use to describe stupid people now? Well, I guess stupid is one of them. I think it's dumb, idiot, stupid, lame. There's just a lot of words, smooth brain. There's just a lot of words that, like, we use completely nincompoop. Well, a lot of words we use completely normally, and completely slow even, yeah. I mean, the R slur literally is just another word for slow. Like, fire retardant is something that slows down the spread of fire. Like, so the term retarded is literally just a meaner way of saying slow. When we get into the mud about arguing against its use as an insult towards people's intelligence outside of any circumstance involving neurodivergence, it really feels like we are... Or to delay, thank you. It really feels like we're sort of taking away one of the most common ways to criticize somebody's opinion and what they believe irreverently that exists online. Like, when you call someone dumb or stupid or dumbass online, you look angry. You look angry. You look offended. You look mad. When you say, whatever, retard, you're not only making them look stupid, but you're also looking disaffected. You don't really care. You're not triggered. And the right has always relied heavily on the left being triggered. And that's why some of the most popular lefty figures to blow up in the last couple years have been lefty figures that break the mold of stereotypical lefties, who are a little more edgy, who like to argue with right-wingers, who get loud and yell and insult and say words that the online left gets really pissy about, right? Now, many of you may be thinking, like, okay, well, why don't the people who have a problem with, say, Keffels saying the R slur to conservatives in her videos, why don't they just not watch Keffels? I mean, she's objectively doing good for the trans community and for, like, the left overall with her content, so, like, maybe it's just not for them. Why don't they just move on? Well, there's a number of reasons why. So first of all, we've got this group of people here, and we're actually going to expand on the story of this group of people here. You see, these angry, spiteful motherfuckers are basically, there's multiple groups of these people, right? Let's break this up into like 3 slices. This isn't as many slices as there are, but this should roughly do it. Let's say you've got people who... So these are the people who are upset at you, all right? But it's, you know, you can't really tell when you're getting canceled. You've got like a big cancellation mob at you, going after you. It can be easy to see them all as one giant monolith, right? Like, oh, I've just got a bunch of people trying to cancel me, just a bunch of people trying to like destroy me, right? However, I think it's important to analyze the variance in the people that are going after you, right? Let's look at, the woke scold pie. So you've got different types of people here. So the first is like your classic woke scolds. These are people who are just abusive pieces of shit who probably always hated you and never liked you and have finally found a way to get some clicks on Twitter by calling you a racist or bigot or whatever it may be. The woke scolds will always find a way to butt into the rest of this pie. The other group are ex-fans with a strong parasocial relationship, okay? These are people who were probably fans of you and liked you and had a very certain idea of who you were in their mind, or felt a very strong entitlement to you, and now that your content is going in a place they don't like, or your takes are going in a place that you don't, or whatever it may be, they feel insulted, like you've taken something from them, and they're upset about it. It's a very common form of entitlement that you get sometimes as a YouTuber from your audience. But yeah, that's basically this audience, this sort of part of the pie. My headset turned off and turned back on for a second. That's weird. And the final group is possibly the most annoying part. And these are the people who don't care about the left or its political policies succeeding. These are the people who see the left entirely as a social club and just want to find a way to tear down a new popular lefty figure who's making these ideas more popular because they want to feel like a special snowflake online for having better political opinions than the average person. Because I will admit, there is a certain level of like smuggery that you can let you get to live in as a lefty online, seeing that the vast majority of people on the internet are wrong and stupid and you're correct, and they're like objectively, like their view of the world is objectively inferior to yours, and you know it on a factual basis because you research these things and they don't. Like it's definitely like a little bit empowering to know that. However, these people despise you and they don't want you to be spreading the ideals of the online left, because they care more about the left being a special little, you know, thing, right? But then finally, you've got one other group that basically commands all of these people, okay? It's like this is a giant, like, crystal ball, you know? And you've got, like, a wizard here, okay? Here, let's draw Saruman. There we go. Here's Saruman, okay? He's got his Palantir. He's pondering his orb. Pondering his pie, okay? Wait, where's his... We gotta give it... Well, Saruman doesn't have a hat, but he has long hair. So we'll give... Here is Saruman commanding them all. No, in all seriousness, kind of commanding all of these people, or in sort of a way, rallying them, in a sense, are the woke scold content creators. Obviously, Thought Slime is one of these people, Thought Slime being the person who has spread multiple, potentially career-ending lies about me in the past that he is... I think Thought Slime recently doubled down on the sex cult thing. I believe Keffels, like, replied to one of their posts about lying about me having a sex cult, and they replied angrily that so they're still doubling down on that. Thought Slime's lying and saying that he's apologized for it? Yeah, he's never apologized for it, certainly not to me. I have not gotten anywhere near an apology from Thought Slime. I would love one, though. I would love a full, like, taking back and admitting to what he did. I would love if he made, like, a Twitter video where he says, back in 2020... I accused a guy who is literally like a decade younger than me of running a sex cult with no evidence because I was jealous of him, and he was a young man with a promising future that I wanted to try to stop before it got too big for me to stop, and so I spread some really defaming lies about him, but it didn't really work out for me as I wanted it to, so I'm sorry, everybody. If he made that video, I would be thrilled. Yeah, I think he apologized to his audience for saying that, like, I guess sex cult was hyperbole, but, like, everything else he said was still a lie. Like, there was no sex cult, and there was no abuse or whatever. Like, I don't know. They alluded to they haven't apologized, trust me. Anyway, yeah, so just to give you an idea, these are people who may hate you because they don't like you as a fellow content creator, they're jealous of you, they don't like you as a person, or maybe they're just assholes, but they have large audiences on the left of people that they've that are just like the cancel crowd, the cancel crowd essentially, that they've kowtowed to, that they can now weaponize against the figures that they dislike. This has happened time and time and time and time and time and time again. Over and over. Over and fucking over, it keeps happening. Happens to Vosh, happened to me, happened to Demon Mama, happened to Keffels. It happens to everyone who starts a left-wing platform and gains any level of prominence. They're hit with a choice of 3 roads. Leave the internet, say fuck it and do your own thing, and just endure the hate, because that's how it's going to be, or acquiesce to them and live in a non-stop cycle of torture for having to apologize for every perceived mistake you make, and having essentially no more creative freedom in the way that you attack these horrific right-wing policies that are being pushed by billionaire propagandists who, instead of being attacked by fellow right-wingers, are being offered $50 million contracts to spread their right-wing narrative to others. So, like, yeah. The most recent right-wing infighting happened because one conservative offered another conservative a $50 million contract, and the other conservative said, that's slavery. That is the state of right-wing political propaganda. They fight over being insulted that one would give the other tens of millions of dollars to push the right. Like, that is how much money they have. That is how dishonest they are. That is how much of a fucking massive empire business it is. It's a business. It's not a movement. It's a business. The left is a movement, and it doesn't function like a business, which is why it's so goddamn miserable. The right is actually kind of fun to be on. Like, lefties will usually say it's miserable being a right-winger, but it's... I mean, being a right-winger is miserable in the sense that the things that lead you to being a right-winger tend to be miserable, but, like, being in right-wing social spaces is fun when you are a conservative. You are, like, generally accepted and affirmed if you're in the right social space with, like, the right people, like, that are your friends and everything. Like, you're not generally going to find yourself getting canceled over the smallest disagreement or whatever, right? On the left, you expect to lose friendships nonstop. I lost a good friendship yesterday. But yeah, it's like, this kind of stuff, like, you just got to accept the fact that there's never going to be, like, a steady, no drama, no, like, fallings out kind of community here, because everybody is kind of trying to eat each other up. You've got people who want to be friends with everybody, and then you've got people who, like, want to destroy certain other people, and it's like, yeah. If you lose a friendship over a disagreement, it was never really a friendship, it was a transactional relationship. No, I think that's extremely stupid. Now, I think that's legitimately some of the most cuck shit I've ever heard. People who say that shit are the type of people who have no respect for themselves. Stop, literally, oh god. I fucking, please, have enough respect for yourself to realize that you do not have to stay in a friendship that you do not enjoy. If a friend does something that upsets you and hurts you, you are not an asshole for not being comfortable being friends with them anymore, okay? Have some fucking respect for yourself. Like, you are allowed to be upset that somebody hurt you, okay? And you are not the asshole if you decide to end that friendship, okay? And I'm saying this as a black, autistic, cis-adjacent woman. The weird automatic hate for all cishet white debate streamers is a bit much. Well, it's not even that. It's I think... Like, even now, like, Demon Mama and Keffels get the same thing, and they're trans. Obviously, I think it's more so, like, the more... I think you probably have less work to worry about the more marginalized groups you're a part of from the left, right? Like, you will still get woke scold shit, you will still get tons of hate, but you'll get less the more marginalized groups you're a part of, unironically, but it won't protect you entirely. Like, you can be POC... trans, LG, like, you can be queer and, like, disabled enough to be in a wheelchair, and you will still get shit and hate from the left, okay? However, you will probably get less than, say, a cis white straight dude who does the same exact content, just because, like, certain things look a certain way coming out of certain people to people on the left, right? Possibly one of my favorite examples of this like deranged cancellation attempts has to be what they tried to do to Shark the other day. Oh, did you guys also see that my anti-fans have gotten themselves a new label? I feel like this is also, it ties in well to like the cancellation and woke skull topic. My haters now have a new label they call themselves, Slanderholics. Because they openly like are okay with lying about me. Like they don't lie about lying about me. Like they're open about the fact that they're down to spread as much misinfo and like slander about me as possible. And so they proudly call themselves Slanderholics because slandering me is based and cool to them, right? So to be clear, these are not people who see me as like someone warranting any respect. These are not people I should ever listen to the criticism of, okay? Sounds like some DGG shit. Some of them were probably DGGers. I mean, it's a very honest title, though. I mean, they're admitting, like, literally in the title, like, my haters, literally in the title of their name that they call themselves, they have slander in there so that they can, like, they're denoting that they are slanderers. It's very nice. This is my favorite interaction. So here you have a picture of a meme title that Keffels did, Hogwarts Legacy, 1 death equals 1 slur challenge. It was just her playing Raft. She didn't play Hogwarts Legacy. And this person says, I thought this wasn't real at first, but turns out it is. And this person replies, she's literally just playing Raft and talking to chat. Blocked. Listen, these people will run screaming away from you when met with the truth, okay? They're very scared of it. Here's somebody who edited the text as a meme of what the original tweet said that the person posted, but they did it because that's what they did. So basically, this person named Silly Lesbian PhD posts a inspect element. Like, you ever use inspect element and you can like change text on screen? They used inspect element to make a tweet, that a fake Shark 300 tweet, and the tweet says as follows. I'm not reading this out loud, but you guys can see it. It's basically, they faked a tweet where Shark is saying that he is a sex offender, which of course he is not. And then this person changed the text of this person's. In the actual tweet, this person said like, interesting that you said this or something like that. But this person edited the text to say, you know, something else, like good job, Shark, or whatever. But yeah, basically, that post had like thousands of likes, and it was a big account pushing the idea, like literally a screenshot they faked, trying to claim that Shark is a pedo. So to be clear, by the way, a lot of the hate or the haters that have been going after me, Vosh, Demon Mama, etc., one of their go-to responses has been, yes, you should kill yourself for saying the R slur. So Keffels has tweeted, like, lefties will literally tell you should kill yourself. Like, you should tell you that you literally deserve to die and that you should kill yourself for saying the R slur. And they all quote tweeted her and were like, yep, we do think you should kill yourself. Please kill yourself. Thousands of likes. Literal, like, lefty trans accounts quote tweeting Keffels, a trans woman, telling her to kill herself for saying the R slur. That is a shit ton of the posts we've been seeing. These are people who want to either have you dead. A lot of them want you dead. Like, if a lot of these woke skull types want me dead, I've gotten more death threats from lefties in my entire time doing this than I ever have from conservatives. Far more death threats from lefties than conservatives. Absolutely. Without a doubt. I've had lefties send me pictures of their guns, telling me they're gonna shoot me. Like woke skulled accounts with little anime profile pictures, hammer and sickle, and a trans flag in the you know, bio, right? These are the people that are going after you. Now, privately, they'll tell you kill yourself. They'll tell you that they want to destroy your life and everything. But publicly, they'll try to make it look like they're just canceling you for being a racist, horrible person. But they never specify why you're a racist, horrible person. They just kind of, you know, just call you that, right? And people who want to believe it because they hate you will jump on board with it, and it'll get a lot of traction. And the goal, here's the goal. We gotta, like, get to the thesis here. Why do they do this? What is the goal? What is their prerogative? What is their, like, objective? Their objective is to make it so that your reputation precedes you. You see, if you can make a lie, a really bad negative lie about a popular growing figure spread faster than that figure can grow, you can stop that figure from growing. And so, what the online left, the woke scold side of the online left will do, is essentially repeatedly push the same lies, regardless of how strongly they've been completely debunked, such as the sex cult allegations, the DJ Mule thing, like all that shit. They will just keep repeating them until enough people that don't know better fall for it, and now they have a default negative opinion of you and will never give you a chance. Their goal is to prevent your career from ever growing further. It's sort of like trying to apply a sort of pesticide. And the reason they want to do this is to keep the left from growing or from personal, personal hatred of you. And yeah, I think that most of these people are subhuman and not really worth even the slightest bit of care. There's a reason why I do not, apologize for pretty much anything the woke scolds or anyone on the left gets mad at me for anymore, because even if I do apologize for something that's kinda iffy, I will in some way be providing ammo and validation to those people, and yeah, don't do that. So basically, for those of you who are unaware why I or Vosh or Keffels or anybody else goes super hard against these woke scold types, it's because their goal is to either kill us through enough harassment and whatnot that we eventually commit suicide, which isn't going to work, or to destroy our careers so we can't do YouTube anymore. And guess what? Guess what happens once they dox you, and they've now filled the internet with lies about you being, I don't know, a pedophile, a rapist, a racist, a yada yada, and you go try to get a normal job. They're not only trying to destroy your online career, they're trying to destroy any ability for you to get a normal job if they do succeed at destroying your online career. Because then when they Google your name, they'll just see nothing but people calling you racist, right? That's happened to people before who've had trouble getting jobs because of lies that have spread about them when they're a YouTuber. And they're ex-YouTubers now.